Cost more money, yeah.
Good evening. If I could get your attention. And I'm going to ask folks over in the bar area if you'd like to come on in this way. We've got a great crowd here tonight. This is our 29th annual legislative reception here at Stonehill College in Donahue Hall. I'm Chris Cooney. I'm president of the Metro South Chamber of Commerce. If we could, we had two recent deaths, and I want to have a moment of silence both for former Senator Brian Joyce, who used to come to this event quite often, as well as the student, Stonehill student Mark Tarabucci, who lost his life last night. Thank you very much. So good evening. We're delighted to be back here at Stonehill College for our 29th year. There are a number of elected officials here. We call them selected officials as well, selectmen and town managers and leaders within the community, as well as the business community. This event has been a tradition, again, for 29 years, and it really is an opportunity to bring together the business people and elected folks to talk about issues that are of importance. It also gives candidates a chance to come out and introduce themselves to some of the business folks in the community and just kind of informally get together and spend some time together. A lot of times elected officials will mention this event being unique in the sense that they don't have to get up there and sing for their supper. They can just kind of casually, have a beer and talk to people. Not too much beer, just one beer. And that's the last time I'm going to say that word. But anyway, it's my pleasure to welcome you here, and it's also my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies tonight, our Chair of Legislative Affairs, Ray Ledoux, who also serves as the Administrator for the Brockton Area Transit Authority. Ray?
Well, thank you, Chris. Tonight is a great night because, one, there are no speeches. There are no really, we have no presentations. You don't have to sit down and listen to someone on economics. Tonight is a social night for everybody to network, and we want to thank you all for being here. But tonight is also a very special evening because our gracious host of 30 years he's not retiring, he's just taking on some new duties, but he will be passing on the duties of host of this event, and this will be his last event hosting this for us at the Chamber. And I'd like to introduce the Vice President of Stonehill College, my good friend, Fran Dillon.
Thank you, Ray. Ray just said there'd be no speeches, so I had 45 minutes prepared, but we're going to skip over that. But I can't believe it's 29 years. I was 6 when we started this 29 years ago, but it's been a great run. And before I say a few words, I do want to introduce my successor, who has worked for me for 25 years. His name is Doug Smith, and he's standing over there in the back. He had jet black hair. Doug had jet black hair when he came to work for me 25 years ago. So people have been very gracious and have often said to Doug, gee, Doug, you have big shoes to fill. And Doug says, I know, I've been shining them for 25 years. But he'll do a great job, and I'm sure that this event will continue with Doug and Stonehill as a sponsor, because it's a great event for Stonehill to sponsor. Lots of things are happening at Stonehill. If you look out these windows, you can see some great construction going on. We just opened our new, we're now calling it the School of Arts and Sciences, named for our chairman of the board, Tom May, who just retired as the CEO of Eversource. Tom and I and his wife Donna all went to Stonehill together for 4 years, and he's a great guy. It's a wonderful facility. At some point, I invite the chamber over to take a look at some of the facilities in there, and I'm sure you could use some of the space for future events. We're also building the new School of Business at Stonehill. the Leo J. Meehan School of Business, a local guy who's worked at W.B. Mason since the day he graduated from Stonehill. He's now the CEO, has done a great job with that company. He's also on our board, and he's been very generous to the college. But apart from the construction going on campus, you come to Stonehill every day, and it's exciting because there are lots of great things happening here. But it all centers around our students. And the mission of Stonehill College is to educate our students so that they will be prepared for successful lives, both at work and in their communities. And in our mission statement, we say, we educate our students to help create a more just and compassionate world. When I look around this room and I see the public servants, I see the members of the nonprofit community, I see the members of the business community, you know, on this local level, that's our job as well, to make sure our communities are just and better every day. And I'm so proud to be associated with this chamber and with so many people in this room that do such a great job day in and day out. And to those in the public sector, thank you for what you do. Every year I say it gets harder and harder to be a public servant today, but we can disagree on all kinds of issues, as we have tonight for 20 minutes. Am I right, John? But we all have the best interest of our communities at heart, and I do want to especially thank our public servants, many of them who have been here, I think, for maybe almost the 29 years as they look around the room. So you're always welcome back to Stonehill, and thank you again.
Well, thank you, Fran, and I'm one of those folks who have been here as long as you have been, Fran and I used to play tennis together and on the same tennis courts and see him at golf tournaments, and we've done a lot of strategic planning together. I followed his shoes. I didn't have to shine them when I became chairman of the chamber. And Chris and I were talking, what do you get the man who has everything? You know, every award that could be possible, a chair from the chamber, a lamp from the chamber, plaques and crystals. So we decided to get you something that we know you do not have. So a little tongue-in-cheek, and you've roasted us all these years. So we decided, oh my goodness, to get you your own very golf trophy, because we've seen you golf, right? And we know that you are in golf tournaments all the time, and I've been there when you haven't even gotten, the honorable award. So this one is for longest drive. So we hope that you can put this up in your mantle, and we also. So since you give out so many trophies, the other thing is, if you had ever won anything in a golf tournament, this is the type of gift certificate you might have received. So, congratulations.
Thank you. One quick funny story. So I've been to thousands of golf tournaments to collect a check for scholarships at Stonehill, but I only started golfing about 2 years ago when I decided that the clock said you got to turn 70 last June, so make some plans. So I decided I should take up golf. I am awful. And so we were at a tournament last June, and the person the tournament was for was Tommy Folliard, whose father was the athletic director here. And Tommy was talking about his daughter, who never held a golf club in her hand at all. She's a freshman in high school, and she was saying, he was saying she had hit the ball and they'll go pick it up and put it back. I was saying, where is he going with this story? And he said, and she still finished ahead of Fran Dillon. Thank you, Ray.
Many of you have been to our events, and if you ever follow Fran, you know you're going to get roasted some way. So congratulations, we finally got you good, I think. So, and I also spoke to Doug this evening, and usually at these events I follow Fran, and every time I follow Fran, he says exactly the same thing that I was going to say. So Doug, please, we'll have to work on our scripts together in advance, so thank you and welcome. It's my honor to welcome and name the elected officials who said that they were going to be here. And if I miss your name and you came in a little bit late, I truly apologize. But I'd like to recognize, and please hold your applause at this moment, I'd like to recognize from the State Senate, we have Senator Mike Brady, Senator Walter Timilty. We had registered, we have Representative Claire Cronin, she's here. We have Representative Bill Galvin, Representative Lou Kafka, candidate for treasurer, and Representative Kiko Oral. We have Matthew McDonough, Registrar of Probate for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Trial Court. We have representing Plymouth County, we have Robert Creeding, Plymouth County Clerk of Courts and a former senator, state senator. We have our district attorney, Timothy Cruz of Plymouth County. We have Sandra Wright of Plymouth County Commissioner, Philip Griffin, Deputy Detail Coordinator. We have City Councilor Ann Beauregard, City Councilor of Brockton, Shirley Azak. We have Michael Thomas from the Brockton Public Schools, Mark Lindy, the Brockton representative from the Southeastern Regional School Committee. We have Craig Barger from the Board of Selectmen and Vice Chair of the Town of Easton. We had Dottie Fulgenetti here earlier. She had to leave, but she spent some time with us, the chairperson of the Town of Easton. We have Eric Berkman from Town Selectman from Avon, Greg Enos, Town Administrator from Avon. We have Sean George, Town Council, Town of Bridgewater, Lisa Green, Assistant Town Administrator from the Town of Whitman, Ted Haley, the Vice President, Councilor at Large from the Town of Bridgewater, Dan Salvucci, Vice Chairman of the Town of Whitman, Mike Sullivan, Vice Chairman, Town of Stoughton. We have Frank Lynham, the Town Manager from the Town of Stoughton. So if we could just have a round of applause for all of our elected officials here tonight. Sorry, we also have Brian Bezanson from the Whitman Board of Selectmen and Jack Lally from the City Council. So if we could just thank them as well. So this evening is still early, and I know that some of you have other commitments, and we have Councilor Castro from Brockton. So she just joined us. Thank you. Thank you. So we know that tonight is still early, and we welcome you to continue to socialize. Some of you I know that have busy schedules, board meetings. I know Fran will be leaving shortly. He serves on a number of boards. Cardinal Spellman Board, you'll be going there to continue to make your contribution. Yeah. We want to encourage you to stay and socialize. If you go to our chamber website, we have a number of upcoming events. We have our annual meeting coming up that will be at the Teen Challenge, right, in Brockton, off of Main Street. A beautiful facility. It will hold up to 400 people. We have 25 vendors. It's a business-to-business expo. So we encourage you to be able to consider participating and going to that event. So again, please feel free to socialize. We look forward to chatting with you through the rest of the evening. Thank you very much. Oh, one last thing. I forgot to mention two things here. One thing, Fran, we also have flowers for you. But I would suggest you take it home to someone else. And then we'd also like to thank Crescent Credit Union for being our sponsor. So thank you very much.